Welcome everyone. Today we're going to be going through the process of deep cleaning this DF54 coffee grinder. This is not the type of cleaning that you will have to do regularly, but something that you'll do every couple months. For a regular cleaning, it's best to just sweep the chute of the grinder with the chute cleaning brush that's provided every week, maybe two. For this cleaning, we're going to be using some of our grinder cleaning tabs. You, of course, don't need to use these tabs. However, if you're interested, they are sold on our website. They're a product that you can run through the grinder and it pulls the oils and buildup of coffee out. It makes it a little bit easier to clean. The instructions on the container say to use about 40 grams. I tend to use closer to a single dose of coffee, so something around 18 or 20 grams. We're going to take these tabs, we'll turn the grinder on, and we will run these tabs through just like you would regular coffee beans. Once the grinder is done with grinding the tabs, you'll pump the bellows a few times to get as much of the cleaner out as possible. We'll unplug the grinder before we proceed with taking things apart. Now we'll go through the tools that we have in front of us. We have the Allen key for removing the dial indicator arrow. We have, of course, the chute cleaning brush, and we also have a softer bristle brush. This we find makes it a little bit easier to clean some of the crevices. We also have a vacuum. And then adding to this, it's also good to have a rag as well as some food grade grease. We sell these single-use packets of food grade grease for reassembly. We're going to remove the bellows and the anti-popcorn shield. Next, we're going to remove the dial indicator arrow. You don't need to remove the dial indicator arrow in order to remove the upper burr carrier, but it does make it a little bit easier to get things back together at the end. Next, you're going to remove the grind size adjustment collar, rotating in the counterclockwise or coarse direction until it is free from the body of the grinder. And now we can remove the upper burr carrier and have access to the grind chamber for cleaning. We're going to sweep off the dust from our cleaner as well as any buildup of coffee grounds from the burrs. We're using that soft bristle brush to get into all of the crevices of the burr. We'll do the same thing now for the lower burr carrier, sweeping around inside the grind chamber and all over the burr, trying to break loose all of those coffee grounds and any other buildup. And then we're going to use the chute cleaning brush to sweep the chute out. And then after all of this, we will use the vacuum to suck up all of the dust and coffee buildup and everything that we just cleaned. Now that we've done that, we're going to put the grinder back together. The first thing we're going to do is clean the threads on the body of the grinder where the adjustment collar threads on, as well as the threads on the adjustment collar itself. After that's clean, we're going to use our food grade lubricant. We're going to spread a thin layer on the threads of the adjustment collar. We want to spread it all the way around. We're also going to spread another thin layer on the inner ring of the adjustment collar before we thread that back onto the grinder. We're going to put the upper burr carrier back in place. Make sure that the hole for the dial indicator arrow is pointed towards the front of the grinder. Next, we're going to reinstall the grind size adjustment collar. Make sure that you thread this on carefully. You need to be very careful that the threads line up properly. You do not want this to be cross-threaded because you can damage the adjustment mechanism. We're going to continue to tighten this down in the clockwise direction. Once you start to feel that the collar is getting a little bit tighter, you're getting closer to the 0 point, we're going to rotate that lower burr with our fingers to feel where the burrs start to touch. And we know that that's our 0 point, so we know we've adjusted the collar down enough. We'll put the dial indicator arrow back on, and then we'll put the rest of the accessories back on. The anti-popcorn shield, the bellows, the lid, and we can get rid of the grinder cleaning tab dust, and you're done.